grandmother gives to those who wish to surpass 100 years of age. Born June 9th in the year of 1913 was a set of twins, Donald Earl Waite and Dorothy Irene Waite. My great-grandma Dorothy grew up in the town of Parrish and attended school until the 7th grade when she got her working papers and began working at a strawberry field in Pulaski. When she turned 19, she married my great-grandfather Donald Munger, who was a farmer. Together, they raised cattle on their farm and had 6 beautiful children. She spent her entire life with animals and has a very deep appreciation for the arts. And despite encountering many bumps in the road of her long life, she still stands strong today. And her secret to living a long life is to take care of yourself and eat healthy. My grandma Dorothy lived on a farm her whole life and loved every minute of it. She even owned 62 horses at one point. She enjoyed showing her horses in events like rodeos and parades, and it just so happens that she passed this love of horses down through the family to all of her children and grandchildren, mostly me. 4 years ago, for her birthday, she wished to be able to get back on a horse. My family arranged for that to happen at her 100th birthday party by getting an old family friend to bring a horse up to the manor home she was living in at the time. And what's interesting about my grandma Dorothy is that she always does things differently. Normally when a person approaches a horse, they do it straight on, but not my grandma. She starts from the horse's rear end, grabs their tail, and then pets their body with her hands as she moves forward. So she did just that when she met her ride, and then with a little assistance, she went up and into the saddle. After getting comfortable, she thanked the Lord, and to a cheering audience shouted, "I'm back in the saddle again." Aside from horses, she also used to breed small dogs in hopes of acquiring teacup-sized puppies. And I kid you not, she did this until she was in her late 90s. Apart from animals, my grandma Dorothy is also an amazing artist. She painted all of the walls of her old farmhouse, which she claims to have moved in because she feared it was going to be torn down. So she renovated every inch of it and said that she figured if she painted the walls, that they wouldn't be able to tear it down. She also says that every painting in that house tells a story. And whenever she had a new idea for a painting, well, she'd just paint right over an old one. In her paintings, she included little bits of details that tell why she painted it. And each of the wall paintings, she said, would take about a year to complete. My grandma Dorothy has been faced with many misfortunes during the course of her long life, but they clearly haven't taken a huge toll on her. She survived falling down and breaking a hip and was moved into a nursing home as a consequence. Additionally, my grandma Dorothy has suffered many strokes. 2 years ago, she encountered one that we all thought she would not come out of. She was put under hospice care for about a month, and then one day she was back to her spunky self. When she was 89, she had a stroke in her right arm. She feared that this stroke was going to take the use of her hand and that she wouldn't be able to paint anymore. She claims that she prayed to God that he would give her strength back to her, and in turn that she would do his artwork. When she turned 90, she painted a scene of white horses on a mountain. The picture depicts some dark clouds, which she says is the stroke she had trying to take over her body. The painting shows the dark clouds giving way to a brighter sky, which she says represents the strength of her right hand and arm returning. She says that in every single piece of her artwork, if asked about it, she can explain how certain pieces of detail represent some issue that she has faced in her lifetime. One of her paintings won an award at the Oswego County Fair. Her daughter sent it in without her knowing, and when she found out, she says that she was really upset because it wasn't finished yet. But after recognizing that she'd won, she said, "Nobody ever recognized my work as being any good. I've never won anything for it. I just couldn't believe it. I've kept my art a secret just for me, but I've been an artist my whole life." She's also an avid family woman. She had 6 children, only 3 still surviving today. When one of her daughters was only 13 months old, she passed away. She lost her twin brother and the rest of her siblings, and then her husband, but she didn't let any of that destroy her. In fact, she came out 10 times stronger. She admits that she's always been a lone wolf and doesn't mind being alone at all. My grandma also has a very strong sense of humor. She finds light in the darkest situations and loves to make herself and others laugh. She tends to joke about her days before she was a married woman and how she liked to have fun. She loves telling stories, and most of the time there's some humor involved. She once told my mother about a time when she made love in a snowbank, but it wasn't cold because of all the hot juices that were flowing. I think this woman refuses to accept her age. She's defying everything that people put against her. She still loves to dance, sing, and can show you that she can still reach her forehead to her knee. Dorothy Irene Waite Munger, truly an astounding woman. Tell her she isn't capable of doing something and she'll prove you wrong. She is an inspiration to many and fiercely represents a strong, passionate, feminist way of life. She is living proof that anything is possible if you're determined and don't let something bring you down. And in the wise words of Dorothy Irene Munger, if you want to live a long, happy life, you've got to love yourself.
Thank you.